A cop was arrested for assaulting a black person who was disabled.
Yep.
Listen.
Yep, they slammed my head down on the cement. Yep.
Officer David Lance Dukes of the Orangeburg Department of Public Safety was notified about a man knocking on his neighbor's door on the evening of July 26, 2021. Officer David subsequently revealed that the caller was a female who informed him that Clarence Gaillard, the 58-year-old suspect, was carrying a pistol. When they got to the location, David told Gaillard to get on the ground, and Gaillard complied.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground right here! Get on the ground! You! Burgundy shirt, get on the ground! Over here! On the ground! On the ground! Get on the ground! Do you not listen? Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
However, the officer continued to be dissatisfied and proceeded to kick the disabled man in the head in order to force him to the ground. This resulted in Gaillard's head hitting the ground.
Is there a gun back there?
Ain't no gun.
By that truck.
Ain't no gun. No.
Turn back over. Paul, are you watching him say?
David then proceeded to check for the gun that the caller had mentioned, but there was no gun there. After throwing Gaillard to the ground and handcuffing him, David went on to other things. The only thing that David discovered was a stick that was wrapped in shining silver tape. Gaillard's attorney later stated that his client holds onto the stick in order to defend himself from stray dogs. Shortly after that, David's colleagues and cop arrived at the scene and began investigating the situation immediately after their arrival. David's neighbors began to criticize his use of excessive force, and Gaillard made an effort to suppress them because of their concerns.
Yep.
Listen.
Yep, they slammed my head
Listen.
down on the cement. Yep.
Go back inside. Go back in the house. Go back in the house. Ain't nobody talking to you.
I got head drummer.
Go back in the house.
Yep.
While David was helping the victim get up, Gaillard started to complain about how the officer had hurt his head. Despite the fact that David was successful in putting Gaillard's neighbors to rest, he was unable to put other cops to rest, and they are now looking at him with suspicion. David attempted to defend his actions by claiming that Gaillard was not complying and that he was concerned about his life because the caller stated that Gaillard had a pistol. This was done because David saw that he was getting himself into a sticky situation.
Hands.
My head.
He wasn't listening.
No, it ain't.
He got the, like this right here,
You grabbed me.
and we went onto the ground.
You bust my head down
That's what
on the cement.
Did Gaillard actually put his hands in his pockets? Look closely at what happened. After Mr. Gaillard emerged from his automobile, he raised his hands, disproving David's claims. David booted Gaillard when he was on his hands and knees, which makes little sense as the suspect wasn't a threat. Gaillard was uncuffed and treated, but Officer David showed no remorse. Gaillard's cousin Julian asked David for his card, but David said they didn't have any. As it turned out, David lied about the incident multiple times. David denied delivering his card, but Sergeant Hollander proved him wrong by saying they had business cards. Gaillard and his cousin Julian were released after a brief investigation. Gaillard sued Officer David Lance Dukes, alleging that he was beaten despite following David's orders. When his health allowed, David was arrested and charged with first-degree assault and battery, a 10-year South Carolina felony. He was laid off too. David repeatedly justified his conduct, but his colleagues' police officers didn't play along or covered his awful actions.
Yeah. Okay. So you're a deputy?
I'm the chief deputy.
You're the chief? Okay.
Newton County Chief Deputy arrested for DUI on patrol. Arkansas State Police Trooper Michael Valentine saw a car swerving on May 12, 2019. Trooper Valentine noticed the driver's side tires repeatedly hit the yellow line before sliding off the road as he pursued the car. Trooper Valentine stopped the driver before the car hit an approaching vehicle and killed innocent people. He was unaware he would meet a chief constable. The driver identified himself as Newton County Sheriff's Office Chief Deputy Michael Kyle Dunn. Like Trooper Valentine, I thought Dunn knew the law better, but I was mistaken.
So you got a gun on you?
It's off.
It's off of you?
After having a serious conversation with him and keeping in mind the privileges that come with being a chief deputy, The trooper told Dunn that he was required to perform his duties regardless of his position.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, you know, we can't be out driving if we've been drinking.
Yeah.
And you know, I caught you coming back onto the highway back there. You almost hit a sign, and then followed you for a little while, and you touched the yellow line twice, touched the white line twice, okay?
As it was, he had trouble retaining a straight posture and understanding Trooper Valentine's directions. Dunn declined a field sobriety test when the officer requested it, knowing the findings.
Pull your hands out of your pockets. All right, go ahead and stand. All right, you gonna be all right?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and stand up for me right here, okay, and face my car. You want to go through these tests, or you just want me to take you in? Huh? I won't take you to Newton. We're in Boone right now, so I'd be taking you to Boone. Okay? I know it sucks. All right, but like I said, it's not my choice.
Can't give me a break, man.
You know I can't. Absolutely can't. It's on camera. I can't do anything about it. I've got family out here on this highway. I'm sure you do too.
The chief constable was politely reminded about the dash cam capturing the situation, but Valentine politely denied the trooper's request for a break. Now, I'll imagine what might have happened if the camera hadn't been there to record the incident. Trooper Valentine offered Dunn two options: submit to a field sobriety test or face jail time. Dunn indeed made a difficult decision.
Well, I hope not. I mean, I don't know what you guys, you know, I don't know how everything goes over there, but you have a pretty good chance of, you know, judge finding you not guilty. He does that quite a bit. I don't know how, I've never seen him in court with another officer, with a DWI, but
if he had been in charge of the arrest, he would have used handcuffs on the citizens, even if he disliked them. Dunn kept trying to remind Valentine that he was a police officer, but Valentine ignored him and continued working. Nevertheless, while doing so, he did not disrespect Dunn's position. Even more notably, the trooper brought up the judge's cooperative demeanor toward the police. Dunn was taken to the local police station and cited for driving under the influence. He refused to submit to a breath chemical test after Trooper Valentine gave him some optimism. At a subsequent court appearance, Dunn was found guilty of operating a motor vehicle while under the influence of alcohol or drugs and fined $800. A one-day suspension from Dunn's one-year prison term was also imposed, but his time served was counted that day. When faced with the hammer of justice, Dunn attempted to flee. The Espanola Police Department attempted to apprehend a suspect in a stabbing incident on March 22, 2020. Despite this, the fugitive Philip Chacon fortified himself within his residence. As the city police attempted to extricate Chacon, James Lujan, the sheriff of Rio Arriba County, appeared on the scene. Despite the police officers anticipating his assistance during the arrest, Lujan requested that they depart from Chacon. As soon as the on-duty officer recognized the sheriff's unreasonableness, he declined his order. Lujan had no interest in it whatsoever.
Hey, Undersheriff, how are you?
Good, man.
Good. Is James here, the sheriff? We just need to speak with him.
Hold on. What's up, guys? Hello, sir.
Hey, sure.
Come in here. You want to do it in there? Or you want
Do what? In here? What?
You just have a couple of search warrants for your cell phones. For your cell phones. So, one on your personal cell phone, and then one on your work cell phone. So those are your copies.
The sheriff repeatedly told the police to retreat, but they refused. The officer could smell intoxicants in Lujan's breath, making the situation worse. The on-duty officer called the Espanola Police Department for help with the drunk sheriff, who was causing extra trouble in an already difficult situation and undoing the cops' hard work in finding Chacon after a long search. Sheriff Lujan spoke to the suspect on his phone while on the spot. Lujan interrupted Chacon's arrest, but he surrendered. After capturing Chacon, the Espanola Police Department charged the sheriff and obtained search warrants for his county-issued work and personal cell phones. The city police encountered resistance from Lujan and his colleagues at the Rio Arriba Sheriff's Office. They gave up after finding no way out and a search warrant from 9th Judicial District Attorney Andrea Reeb. Lujan was handcuffed and escorted from his office to Los Alamos County Jail. Espanola PD found that neither of the sheriff's cell phones was Lujan's used to contact Chacon. He was charged with felony resisting and obstructing an officer.
Sheriff, it would just be so much easier if you just give us these phones. And
I don't
let
have
us
the
go.
phones, do I?
Well, no, but I saw you give them to your undersheriff, who has them in his pocket. So just the knowledge of that.
Give them the phones. This is all harassment and retaliation because I told the city council that you shouldn't be the chief. That's what it is.
You think whatever you want.
I don't think, I know.
Okay.
That's exactly what it is.
You
Go ahead and give it to him. These phones are not to be gone through until you have a warrant for the content. You only have a warrant for the phones,
You're
not the
absolutely right.
content.
You're absolutely right.
And good luck,
Absolutely.
and you better not come through a magistrate. You better go through a district court judge.
Thank you, Undersheriff.
Go.
Thank you. Have a good day, sir.
Except be advised, all units going to be
Okay.
Since Lujan's arrest, Espanola city councilors and the sheriff's office have clashed. State Attorney General Hector Balderas said no one is above the law. Still, all enforcement officers must work together to keep their communities safe and ensure justice and due process for all New Mexicans in light of the dire situation. Cops covering up corrupt colleagues is one of the biggest challenges to our judicial system, but battling each other doesn't help.